Sup everyone, welcome to another video, and today I'm sure all of you have already been informed that Baizhu is coming in Genshin Impact 3.6, the latter half, not the first half, and for reasons as to why, we'll save that for another video. However, I want to come to you today talking about Baizhu because I think a lot of people are going to have him fly right under the radar when it comes to his importance in Genshin Impact. Now, am I saying he's going to be a game-changing character that revitalizes dead compositions or open doors to a complete new meta that we have never seen before? Of course not, right? HoYoverse is never one to make those kind of decisions, let alone on just one single character. Kazuha. But even if they were to, those characters are far few in between, and they act more as like permanent fixes as opposed to trying to make a quick buck out of everybody by the utter destruction of a pre-established meta character, right? It's like HoYoverse cutting one leg to save the other leg. It's not really a situation they want to find themselves in very much because, you know, we only have two legs. So my point with Baizhu is that this character will likely be overlooked by a lot of people, mainly for the reason that he's not too exciting for the vast majority of players. He doesn't do a ton of damage. He comes after Nahida, who is already an extremely powerful Dendro support / buffer, right? He can heal, which cool, I guess. There are other good healers, and healers are really not too in demand even in modern Genshin Impact. That's with HoYoverse trying to push it every now and then. And on top of that, he's a male character and not a female one. So just by sheer popularity, he's just going to lack a little bit of drive, right? What kind of drive? I'll leave that up to your interpretations. However, Baizhu does offer something that most characters in the game that does not. And in fact, he is a part of a very selective club that very few characters can get into, and I do believe a lot of these characters would hope and wish that they were a part of this exclusive club. And what club is that? That is the club of healer shielders, right? I've been saying this for a little over a year, and close to 2 years actually, is that eventually Genshin will need to consolidate their roles. What does that mean? That means that they're gonna give characters who are capable of doing a lot of things, because Genshin could get very repetitive if you're just slapping the same team with the same playstyle, and as HoYoverse continuously change the meta to get you to pull for new exciting characters, it's inevitable that the meta is going to shift and change into something that you are unfamiliar with. And what kind of characters functions best in those eras are characters that can do literally everything, or at least 2 to 3 things, right? So think of characters who can do more than one thing right now. Try to come up with one in your head, right? For example, Kazuha is a buffer as well as a CC unit. That's a very simple 2-role unit. It's just that the buff is so universal that he is incredibly popular. But there are also characters such as Kokomi who can be drivers, who can be healers, who can be hydro applicators, right? That's why Kokomi is still able to exist in the game, as well as Yaimiko functions as a burst DPS, an off-field DPS, and an electro applicator. A lot of the reasons why a lot of these characters have become more and more popular into the game, or as the metas have changed, is because of their flexibility of being able to do more than one thing. So what does Baizhu really do? All right, let's take a step back. First and foremost, he's a Dendro character, and as shown in the special program, he is able to apply Dendro, although not exceedingly well or overwhelmingly. He can do it, and on top of that, he can do it while maintaining a shield on your on-field character. So that already gives him 2 roles. He applies Dendro, and he's a shielder. And what else? He's also a healer. So in that sense, he's kind of like the character Diona, but scaled up to a 5-star unit and Dendro. One of, if not the current most dominant reaction-based element in the game. Being an applicator of Dendro and a shielder and a healer comes with merits, right? Because I've said in the past, what do we value most in shielders? For the vast majority of players who enjoys having a shielder in their team is simply because they hate interruptions. Many characters that have really good DPS windows really hate being interrupted. They have attack strings, they have flows, some of them have combos, some of them have to press a button when a certain symbol pops up on screen. If you were hit in that very fraction of a second, you miss that window, that really screws with your entire rotation. Side note, right? If you guys didn't get the hint, I'm talking about Sino. So characters who often run shielders on their team is not because they don't want to take damage. Like when you take damage, oftentimes it comes with like a little get interrupted. That's what most people hate. The fact that Baizhu has a shield at all, I honestly couldn't really care less about his shield strength. I'm sure it's not going to be like the worst shield in the game, but even a Xin Yan shield can provide immense value for certain characters who hate getting interrupted. And we come back to the healing, right? The fact that he can heal on top of providing a shield, on top of applying Dendro, means that he is going to hold value. He is going to have a surprising amount of value and longevity with his presence in Genshin Impact. Now, does this mean I'm telling you guys don't pull Nahida, pull Baizhu, or, you know, stop pulling Nahida C1 or C2 or her weapon and pull Baizhu or whatever the hell? I'm leaving that for a different video, because if I were to take a tangent on now comparing him to Nahida, we're going to be here for another 20 minutes. However, my point is that a lot of people, I already see this right now, saying like, oh no, I'm just going to skip Baizhu because Fontaine is going to be more exciting, or I'm going to wait for the character right before the Fontaine patch because that character is always broken, right? You know, when you are so predictable as a consumer base, it makes it too easy for Hoyoverse to manipulate how you think. Now, am I here spreading rumors and conspiracies saying no, okay? Stop reading so deep into what I'm saying. I'm simply saying you as a player base has to keep yourselves on your toes, and by doing so, keep Hoyoverse on their toes. We always are playing this dance off with Hoyoverse being like, oh, how are we going to manipulate them to pull for characters that we want and skip other characters that they don't want? And oftentimes they do this by putting you in a very tough decision, which is by putting Nahida before Baizhu. Right? Putting Nahida before Baizhu means no matter how many leaks you are able to see, no matter how much theory crafters post their findings online, there will always be that sensation, that little gnawing thought at the back of your head telling you, well, this is all subject to change. Nothing is concrete. He is not released. We don't know. But I'm telling you right now, from a kit perspective, right? From a kit perspective, Baizhu is not going to heal more than some of the best healers in the game, most likely. His shield is not going to be the best shield in the game, most likely. Nor is his Dendro application going to be the best in the game. But currently, he is the only Dendro applicator, healer, shielder in the game, and it just so happens that he is sitting at the cross-section of three of the most desirable things in the game when it comes to comfort gameplay. Dendro is the most free-to-play, low-budget, easy, broken, cracked-ass element in the game. We all agree on that. Shielders are for people who really don't want to think about mechanics and dodging and blah 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 blah, just want to deal damage, want to watch a TV show when they play the game. Sure, do that with a shielder. And healers are to make sure that no one actually is at any danger of dying pretty much at any point throughout the game, right? These three things combined together makes Baizhu a very potent character for not just free-to-plays and beginning players, but also veterans looking to consolidate some very, very needed slots. Case in point example, I'm going to leave you guys with this. Sino, right? We're back to Sino. Why is Sino important in this equation? Because right now, playing Sino is very awkward when you don't have a shielder. I often run Zhongli with Sino, but I found that I really wish that there was a character that can shield and also provide Dendro application. So now think of this, Sino, right? Maybe Nahida, a Baizhu, and who's the last character? Remember our good friend who is capable of buffing universally and also grouping enemies? Kazuha. It makes it very easy to now open up doors to new and heightened damage ceilings. Look at this. The inclusion of a character such as Baizhu can already raise damage ceilings in teams simply by freeing up an entire different slot. And I'm telling you guys, a slot in Genshin Impact is worth more than any constellations you can think about. Minus Yelan. She has 3 empty slots on her team and is still the best DPS in the game. Something is wrong with that, but with exceptions to Yelan, most other teams, if not all other teams, really value an extra slot. And that's where Baiju's true purpose is. In the future, as long as more DPS comes out, which they will, which relies on Dendro, Baizhu will be a great pickup in that team to provide a shield and also heal in case where shields are kind of obsolete. Rift Hounds, I guess, so that you, the player, may enjoy the benefits of what seemingly is like a C6 Zhongli almost at an easy, low entry cost of a C0. And he's Dendro. right? Take it at that value. But this is all the time we have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember always to stay safe and peace. Bye.